Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Pilar, you know what happened to me right here in Port Authority 10 years ago, when I was 15 years old?
What happened?
Police came up to me, they thought I was a runaway. They called my parents, they took me upstairs.
Oh my God. Really?
Yeah. They take that really seriously.
Oh, I think so.
A New York Times article recently stated that 35 runaways were found in Port Authority in 2015 alone. Statistics show that 1 in 7 runaways is a victim of sex trafficking. And you know what a majority of those runaways are?
What?
People in the foster care system.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yes.
I didn't even know that.
Yes. So, we're here to discuss Hot Girl by author Dream Jordan.
It's a great book.
She's a great author. She went to NYU and she's a native New Yorker.
Yes.
What did you think of the book, Pilar?
I thought it was a relevant book. It was an important book. I think that if possible, it should be on the required, reading list in junior high schools and in foster care systems and juvenile centers. I mean, this book is so important. The message that that Dream Jordan showed and portrayed through the characters in the story of this book is just amazing. This is really well done. Really well done. What did you think?
So Kate is living with her foster parents, Ted and Lynn, who only want the best for her, but they won't buy her beautiful clothes and expensive things, and she's not allowed to go out on the weekends partying. She has a curfew. But Kate has a crush. She has a crush on Charles, who was also in the foster care system and suffered from abuse by his mother. So one summer when Felicia goes to Africa to study, Kate meets a girl named Naliha, who's the opposite of Kate completely. She wears expensive things, she dates a lot of boys, she's very fast, she smokes weed, she does things that Kate can't do because she doesn't want to go down the wrong road. Kate had already gone down the wrong road. She'd already been arrested, and she cleaned herself up because she doesn't want to jump from foster home to foster home. But now things are about to change because of Naliha, because of a random encounter and a girl that she thought would be her new friend for the summer.
Yep. And she had a positive friend. And in actuality, Kate really messed up her opportunity to go to Africa with Felicia, which is also a very pivotal point in the book.
Yes, absolutely.
She didn't handle something properly with a bunch of girls and got in her pride and decided, I'm not going to Africa. I don't want to go.
Because of pride and because of other girls.
These other girls that she had an issue with, which she could have just squashed.
Yes.
But she decided to put her foot down, I'm not going to go. And so she wound up being left behind the entire summer, and her friend went off and had this incredible experience in Africa. So my point, was a major point, in that this book was all about the premise of choice. And what our choice is, either good or bad, where it leads us. And when Felicia went off, and she hooked up with this Naliha, I never pronounced it right, that's when things just started to spiral down, because she brought her into a world that Kate wasn't really familiar with. And she started to emulate a lot of practices that she was doing with regards to dress, because she was trying to attract Charles. So she got webbed in, and it was one bad thing after another bad thing after another, and lies, a bunch of lies that Kate started to tell on her foster parents. She would lie to them to try to be able to maneuver and do certain things, and it just turned out to be a negative situation.
She was doing things that she was completely against, like drinking, because she knew that when she drank, she went crazy. Exactly, she got violent. Going into a deli where they sell pot. She actually got really upset with Naliha, but continued to hang out with her. I think another message is when you get a sign about somebody. When you see that things aren't adding up, they're not completely honest, you don't like the things that they do. You don't respect the things that they do. For example, Yes, exactly. For example, Naliha brought her into a situation where she could have been arrested. Kate had all the signs, but she continued to hang out with her out of, I think, boredom
Yeah.
and desperation for Charles.
She didn't have anybody else.
She didn't have anybody else. She said, hey, if this girl's going to help me get the guy that I like, then
not?
I'll go with it.
Yeah.
But what ended up happening was Naliha snatched Charles right from beneath Kate because...
Yeah, but you know, in a way, like if I really think about it, it was horrible what she did, but she also saved Kate in a sense, because if she wouldn't have done that, if she wouldn't have found out, then she would have went along thinking that Charles was just so devoted and not the player that he was. And so she would have gotten sucked into a lie. And so she, you know, in a way, in a real,
in a real
roundabout twisted way, she was saved.
Exactly.
You know, ultimately.
And Kate, you know, ended up making a lot of the right decisions. She said that if Charles doesn't want me to be his girlfriend, if he's not going to respect me, if he's not going to take me out and show me that he's devoted to me, why am I going to give up my virginity to him? She doesn't want to be like that. She wants somebody to treat her with respect. And so does her best friend Felicia, and so do her foster parents.
That's right.
Which is why they kept her on a tight leash. And she let go for a little while, but she knew what she needed to do. And she went right back to the books, went right back to Felicia, and right back to her foster parents, and came clean about all the partying and everything that she did that weekend.
I think, you know, in looking at the foster care system, like social workers do play an important role.
Yes.
And I think that a lot of what happens is they have so many caseloads that they just kind of get burnt out. But if they would understand, if the social services would understand how important their role is in influencing foster children, and having a person like what Kate had, where she had good people surrounding, good support that kind of helped influence her decision-making process. But there's a lot of kids that has that advantage, which is why I feel this book has such an important message that needs to get into the hands of the youth. I think it's that kind of book. It's an important book. It really is.
I think Dream Jordan is sending the message that it's not cool to have promiscuous sex without using protection. You need to take precaution. Kate saw one of her friends that she was in a group home with. She was pregnant. She wasn't doing very well. She was completely on her own. She was homeless, pregnant and homeless.
Yep.
Also, that doing drugs, drinking, not studying, you know, all of that might sound fun, but is that really going to get you where you want to be in life?
That's right.
And also, make sure you have the right people around you.
Right influences. Because
you need
if
the right
not,
influences.
you will just go along and you'll wind up going nowhere.
Exactly. And the consequences are very severe.
Yeah. And you can't. Some
relationships,
things
etc.
you can't reverse.
Yes.
Some decisions you cannot reverse.
Some you cannot reverse.
So.
It's not all fun and games, and Kate knew that in the end. Which is why she said bye-bye to Charles, bye-bye to Naliha.
And
she came
stuck with
clean,
Felicia.
and she
Felicia
stuck
came
with
back
a good friend.
So it had a great ending, and Kate obviously made the right choice, thank God.
Yes.
And I'm hoping that other youth that read this book, that are going down the wrong path, will actually be influenced by Kate, a person like Kate.
Exactly. She is a role model.
For sure.
Definitely pick up Pop Girl by Dream Jordan.
Yes, we rated 5 stars. Thanks for following us.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.